Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's header by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Zaka takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative.
Hello and welcome along to coverage of this Group D encounter between the US of A and Australia in this Group D match from the Lumen Field in Seattle, and this one should be a very, very good game for us all to see today. Big game in prospect, and one that I know I am definitely looking forward to watching. Can USA continue a good start, or will Australia continue their good start in this World Cup? There is some injury news for both sides, and we'll get you over to those in a second with our match commentator Nicholas Judge. But before we do bring him in for the first time this evening with the actual team news and everything, Nick, I just want to quickly ask you, what is your score prediction for this game today?
Hello, Russ. Yes. Both sides look fairly evenly matched, given they won their opening match. USA puts in a more convincing performance by beating Paraguay 4-1. Australia no slouch either, given they beat outsiders Turkey. Given they beat Dark Horses Turkey 2-0, which was a bit of a surprise in themselves. But against one of the co-hosts, I'd say they might have a harder time of it. But they did prove in the last World Cup in Qatar that they are not here just to simply make up the numbers. They're gonna go for it, I am sure.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas. Absolutely. We were a little bit late starting today due to some technical issues that we're having behind the scenes. I'm pleased to say they've been resolved, and we are with you right now for this game this evening. It should be a big game, this one, and it should be a good one. Who will come out on top? Will it be the US or will it be Australia? And to join us to find out the action on who's going to come out on top is Nicholas Jones, who will take you through the first half.
Thanks, Russ. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all our listeners across the world as the Star-Spangled Banner rings out around the Lumen Field or the Seattle Stadium, home to NFL team the Seattle Seahawks, and also Major League Soccer club the Seattle Sounders. Seattle is the largest American city in the Pacific Northwest, and the stadium is set with it, and the skyscrapers and towers of the city of Seattle dominates the background. Just seeing a military helicopter fly over the ground just now. One change for the US before we go into the lineups. Christian Pulisic has been ruled out with a calf injury, and Australia make two changes. Matthew Leckie comes in place of goal scorer in the previous match Nestoroy Irakunda, and Nishan Velupillay comes on in place of Connor Metcalf. Both sides now going through the customary handshake. So now we'll take you through the lineup, starting with the USA with Matt Freese in goal, and it's a 4-2-3-1 formation. The back four are composed of Alex Freeman, Chris Richards, the captain Tim Ream, and Anthony Robinson. The first midfielder duo are Malik Tillman and Tyler Adams, who plays for AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. Serginho Dest and Weston McKennie and Ricardo Pepe are the front three in attack, and leading the line is Folarin Balogun, who made a big impression for himself in the USA's opening match against Paraguay. Taking a look at Australia now, it's Patrick Beach in goal, in preference to Matt Ryan in the back four. It's a 5-4-1, I should say. So the back five in this case are Jacob Italiano, Alessandro Cercati, Harry Souter, the captain, and Cameron Burgess and Jordan Bowes, Matthew Leckie, Aidan O'Neill, Paul Ocon-Enxler, and Nishan Velupale are in midfield. The lone forward is and leading the line on his own is Mohamed Toure. So Mohamed Toure, who plays for Norwich City in the Championship. And now let's take a look at our match officials. Felix Weyer of Germany is the man in the middle, and his assistant referees are Robert Kempster and Christian Deitz. The fourth official is Katia Garcia of Mexico, and her reserve assistant referee is Sandra Ramirez of Mexico. Bastian Dankert of Germany is in VAR, and his assistants are Hamza El Farik from Morocco and Bram van Driest of Belgium. Once again, just remind everyone, if you are new here, then do please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell on. It costs absolutely nothing. Plus, you'll be reminded of what content we've got coming up next. And you can also find us on X at Commentary Live 1 or Twitter. And we have handles on Twitter, and we have handles on Instagram and TikTok, both with at Commentary Hub 92. The USA playing in their home kits composed of the stars and stripes, the red and white, and Australia are playing in their traditional yellow shirts and green shorts, and yellow. I mean, they're yellow all over, and so it'll be Australia to kick us off as the countdown ticks down towards the first half, and away we go then at the Lumen Field in Seattle for the USA against Australia, and it looks to me as though Australia are straight into it early on. Caught by one of the American midfielders. That might have been Tillman, as taking his place in the stands is Maurizio Pochettino, who many of our European listeners will remember was the legendary manager of Tottenham Hotspur. And straight on, the ball for Australia in the 80-yard box is Toure! And that would have been quite the opener for Australia 40 seconds in. Chris Richards gave the ball away. Very poor defending by the USA. And Toure almost took advantage, but Matt Freeze was there to spare the blushes at the start and strike. The ball being passed down the ring to Freeman. Freeman to Richards. And so it's Chris Richards for Crystal Palace. He passes straight away to Ream. And so it's Ream crossing the ball forwards. But caught this time by Robinson. Not this time by Robinson. In fact, it was actually Beach, the Australian keeper. So, and trying to cross down throughout the defensive third was Cameron Burgess. ball is now inside the centre circle. Picks up right away though. Picks up right away though by Freeman. It's Richards to Dest. Back with Freeman. Richards is inside the centre circle. He passes quickly to Freeman. Freeman trying to look for someone to pass it to, and quickly passes to that might have been Weston McKennie by the looks of it. But it's over the line straight away for a throw-in. And what an explosive opening that was. Tony Popovic, the Australia head coach, looks on. After almost 2.5 minutes, it's still the USA, nil, Australia nil. Throw-in taken by Freeman for the US. And now inside the centre circle, it's Ream, the captain. Ream, he's over the far side. And but he has to pass back to Richards. The USA playing from left to right. Australia playing from right to left, and it looks as though the USA are in possession. On the ball now is Anthony Robinson. Robinson closed down and shut down by Jacob Italiano. So difficult to see who is in early possession at the moment. It's Christian Pulisic contemplating what might have been on the touchline. Very unfortunate for him not to be playing. He has been one of the star players for the USA in recent years. The ball now sends out of goal by Beach. Beach gives it away to Australia. Beach gives it to Australia, but now on the ball is McKennie. McKennie may have collided with the Australia captain Suter, Harry Suter. His brother John plays for Scotland. Now on the ball for Australia is Jordan Bowes, but it's over the line for a throw. Remember, this is a high-stakes game between these two, as this could decide who will be going through first to the round of 32. This is a clash between the top two, and everything is all to play for. On the ball now for the USA is Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman down the wing to Richards. So it's Richards to Dest. Dest passes to Freeman. Back with Richards. Now it's Dest on the near side. Dest to Adams and Robinson. Robinson back towards Richards, and it's Richards to Tyler Adams. Adams down the wing towards Weston McKennie. McKennie back to Adams. Adams has to make a quick decision to pass back to Richards. Richards to Alex Freeman. Freeman crossing forward to Weston McKennie. It's McKennie towards that was definitely Ricardo Pepe, and almost sent in by following Balogun. Balogun was in the right place, albeit at possibly the wrong time. Just going to have another look at this. So it was a good setup by McKennie, but Ricardo Pepe was close. But Ricardo Pepe was intercepted. Good footwork by that might have been Sir Carty. But that for me is the closest that the USA have come to scoring. Robinson for the USA. Now back with Dest, and it's Dest to the goalkeeper Freeze. Richards, although they didn't watch out for Nishan Velupale. Velupale loses the ball to Richards. Dest. Given away to Sakati, or that in fact it was Aidan O'Neill. O'Neill concedes to the USA for a throw-in, and remember there is a time limit. The USA might have taken the throw-in, but that was quickly wasted, so Australia had to take the throw-in. The first throw-in wasn't satisfactory, so Jordan Bowes did the second throw-in. Anyway, he loses the ball to Alex Freeman. And after the ball now goes Weston McKennie, or it's Ricardo Pepe, I should say. Ricardo Pepe now off the head of one of the Australian midfielders. That was Lecky, who is in fact one of the forwards. Lecky headed into the air by Nishan Velupe. So it's Velupe, Suter, and almost conceded to Toure. Although one of the USA players is down on the ground, it's Tyler Adams, and the referee Felix Fire breaking up a potential argument. This is what happened, and in fact it was Lecky on Adams. The USA and the fans of the USA will be momentarily concerned, but he is back up on his feet. That's good to see, giving his account of events to the referee with the help of his captain Tim Ream. Tim Ream has been with the US national side since 2010. So the game restarts. It's Adams to Anthony Robinson. Robinson back towards Ream. Ream down the wing to Richards, who's just inside the centre circle. It's Alex Freeman. Freeman to Adams, off Dest. Now Weston McKennie. McKennie trying to get around the Australian defence. Failed to do so, but he managed to pass to Tyler Adams. McKennie towards Dest. And now back with McKennie. McKennie, Dest. He's inside the 18-yard box. Blocked by the Australian defence. That might have been Italiano. Good defending by the Australian number 4. So the ball being passed back towards Richards. It's Richards to Malik Tillman. Tim Ream towards Robinson. Robinson passing back towards Ream. The USA trying to break into Australia's attacking third. They've tried to breach it at least twice so far. Richards, Ream. Tim Ream passes back down to Chris Richards, although Richards was wary of Mohamed Toure. It's Serginho Dest. Dest to McKennie. McKennie almost tackled but holds onto the ball. And a good pass to Tyler Adams. Back with Dest. Freeman to McKennie. Dest once more. McKennie passing this time back towards Dest. And after the ball was Ricardo Pepe. But the ball once again goes over the line for a throw. Barely anything to choose between the two right now as we come towards the 10-minute mark. That was a good attack. That was a good attack on goal by Dest, although it came to nothing. 10 minutes in, the United States 0, Australia 0, as it's Ream to Robinson. Robinson to Malik Tillman. It's Tillman inside the 18-yard box and sent in by Florian Balogun. I'll have to check that in a moment, but what's clear to me is that the USA are in front. And yes, indeed, it was Florian Balogun. He just keeps adding and adding to his accounts. He was the first US player Paraguay since Bert Patenaude in the first edition in 1930. Will he be able to add to that? I'm actually going to take another look at this, and in fact, it did actually come off Serginho Dest. I do apologise. Mistaken identity. Mike says, "Evening, Nick. I hope you get another high-scoring game in the game I covered." They won 4-1. The US hopefully get 5 goals or more too. We shall see, Mike. We shall see. I'm actually getting confirmation it was a Cameron Burgess own goal. I'll have to take a look at the scoreboard on my monitor just to make absolutely sure. And so Australia now looking to try and make amends, but it was a poor finish by Leckie. Leckie should. Although what I can put together is that Nishan Velupillai dawdled a second too longer. He should have held onto the ball and attacked, in my opinion. And yes, the confirmation is that it was a Burgess own goal. Throw-in to be taken by Robinson. Robinson down the wing to Richards. And Richards trying to cross towards Pepe, but the ball is easily caught by Patrick Beach. Beach gives the ball away to Weston McKennie. McKennie to Balogun, but the ball bounces over the line. 13 minutes in, it's still the USA 1, Australia 0, and now we have our first corner of the match. And it will be a USA corner, and to take it will be Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman to take the corner for the USA. And so a bit of a scuffle going on inside the penalty area. The referee trying to calm things down and ensuring that everyone is behaving themselves. He's actually speaking to Paul Ocon-Ensler. He might have got tangled up with Chris Richards, but that now being calmed down and sorted out, we can get ready for the corner to start. So the ball now sent in and almost headed for the USA second by Weston McKennie. He will be momentarily disappointed with that. And so that was so it was Tillman with the initial cross, but the header by McKennie was blocked by the chest of Jordan Bowes. So good defensive work by Bowes. It's Robinson. Robinson gives the ball away to Leckie. It's Leckie, but given back to USA and Robinson. Chris Richards. Richards to Freeman. Ball now jinked up into the air by Serginho Dest. Still with Australia. Nick's by Australia, I should say. As Mohamed Toure tries to get to the ball, and down on the ground again goes Tyler Adams, and the foul was committed this time by Nishan Velupillai. So Nishan Velupillai kicks him on the knee by the looks of it, and right in front of the USA head coach Pochettino as well. So he'll have had a clear view of everything, and whatever protestations he'll make to the referee will be completely valid. But nothing comes of it, so play goes on. It's Weston McKennie. McKennie pushed to the ground by Jordan Bowes, and we have our first yellow card, and it is understandably going to go to Jordan Bowes. Elbow in the face or a kick on the knee. I didn't see what, but Jordan Bowes, yellow card, correct decision. So now we can get back on with the game. It's a free kick to the USA. So before we start the free kick, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel and ensure that you don't miss whatever games are coming up next, because we are trying to grow our channel across the world. So standing by to take the free kick will be Robinson or Tillman. And it looks to me as though it's going to be Tillman to take the free kick. And the ball is sent over the ball is sent over the goal area by Weston McKennie. He just wasn't able to get. Wasn't able to aim it right. And Mike has just sent a reminder that it's Scotland against Morocco, which is the next match coming up at 11 o'clock in the UK. He'll be on commentary for that one, and that will be at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. So we're now back on the ball, and the USA have conceded a throw-in to Australia. That was Malik Tillman who gave the ball away. The former PSV Eindhoven player, who is now at Bayer Leverkusen. It's on the ball briefly for Australia was Mohamed Touré. But play has to be stopped because the action's possibly getting a bit too frenetic for the referee's liking, and things may be starting to get a bit out of hand. Free kick to Australia, and the ball is being passed to Engsler. Ocon Engsler. We just got a comment coming in from Just Ask Nona. Says hello from Cali Nick. That could be one of my mother's relatives. My mum actually grew up in the US. Has been living in England with my father for the best part for almost 36 years now. My father was actually born in England. So it's Dest. Apologies, Mum and Dad, if I embarrassed you on air. So it's Ream up the wing to Robinson, and the ball sent quickly into the air by O'Neill, but given back to Robinson. Robinson, Ream, and now with Freeman. And so Freeman crosses. And the ball has been picked up by Robert. So the ball is being picked up by Freeman. Freeman passing to Adams. Adams, Richards, and now on the ball is Tim Ream. It's Ream crossing down towards Dest. Dest to Weston McKennie, but he loses it to Nishan Velupillay. Velupillay now given back to the US, but Australia managed to retake. On the ball briefly was Ocon Engsler, the man with the yellow card. After the ball is Touré. Good block there from Chris. Good block there from Tyler Adams. Now the ball being passed back into the goal, and it's Patrick Beach trying to press the ball forward. Of it comes the head of Ream. Lecky almost for Australia. And on the ball briefly for a second was Nishan Velupillay. It's out for a throw-in, and Just Ask Nona says she's my aunt, and who says she's my aunt. So great to have you on there. In fact, she's one of many aunts I have over there. So if I could have a proper identification, please, then do please let me know. So it's Adams up the wing to Robinson, and fouled from behind was Malik Tillman by the looks of it, but nothing given. And on the ball briefly was Balogun. Balogun on the ball, but saved by Australia. And now on the ball once again for the US is Balogun inside the attacking area, but given away to Australia. And now on the ball is Jacob Italiano. Jacob Italiano motoring across the pitch, but he has to back pass to Aidan O'Neill. O'Neill to Ocon Engsler. It's Ocon Engsler passing up the wing, but given away to the US. And after over 21 and a half minutes which have just been played, it's still The United States 1, Australia 0. So now it's Aidan O'Neill. O'Neill to Sir Carty. It's Sir Carty to Harry Souttar. It's Souttar, the captain for Australia. He passes up the wing briefly to Jacob Italiano. And now on the ball is Leckie. It's Leckie for Australia, almost sent and almost caught by Nishan Velupillay. That could have been the equaliser for Australia. But something went wrong in the penalty area. I'm just going to have a look. That was a nice slide tackle defending move by Alex Freeman and Tony Popovic. And Tony Popovic is understandably very disappointed. So it will be a free kick to Australia. No, it's a corner. I beg your pardon. So 23 minutes in, USA 1, Australia 0. Can Australia take advantage of this corner? And headed towards the goal was by Paul Ocon-Engstler, and it would have almost been sent in by Burgess. Let's have another look. In fact, it was Souttar. With the header, but Weston McKennie denied Cameron Burgess. So we're just over halfway in, and we've got another corner for Australia. The first one apparently didn't go down too well in the ref's eyes, but it is defended once again by the US and headed into the air by Chris Richards. And so we now enter the 24th minute, and it's time for a hydration break, as is customary in all matches. Throughout the tournament. It's drawn ire from some, but some have said that it's evened up. It's evened up the score. Australia could get some degree of momentum back once they got a few fluids down there. Bodies, and this is also a good time to. And there's also a good time to remind everyone yet again to please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more commentary content. I say video, it's actually audio commentary. It's radio based, and coming up later tonight in the UK, at least, it's Scotland against Morocco from the Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, and Mike Harneman will be our commentator on that one. Scotland amazed superbly against Haiti. Can they do it again against the fancy? Can they do it again against the 2022 World Cup semi-finalists? And just taking a look, there's just take a look in one of the designated spectator areas. The USA supporters are going mad, even though it was a Burgess own goal. So Tony Popovic rallies his troops around. He's being a bit more animated. Maurizio Pochettino being a bit more cool, calm and collected. He's using a bit of paper and a pen to chart positions. So we wait for the hydration break to finish, as well as taking fluids. They're also applying wet towels to their faces. Both the USA and Australia are used to playing in these kinds of conditions. Australia has its own top Premier Division called the A League, and is usually played during the Australian summer months. And as well as the players, the fans are also trying to keep cool inside the stadium as we prepare to restart proceedings. 26, almost 27 minutes gone. It's still the USA 1, Australia 0, but as I keep saying, those hydration breaks could well change all that. And it's going to be a goal kick to start off proceedings, to be taken by Matt Freeze. Matt Freeze places the ball inside the appropriate position. He raises his arm and he kicks the ball out of the box. It was headed for Malik Tillman. Given away, though, to Australia, and Toure. Retaken by the USA towards Robinson. Robinson, Adams, Ream. Now Chris Richards. It's Richards to Weston McKennie. Adams. Now with Anthony Robinson. Robinson straight on the ball. And he's pelting towards the 18-yard box, trying to cross it in, but kept out by Australia and Jordan Bowes. That was good. That was good defending. That was good defending by Bowes, but it just might not be enough for Australia. Remember this game could well decide who tops Group D going into the round of 32. And so the ball now booted out of the goal by Patrick Beach. And kicked up into the air by Ream, who takes it for the US. Ball now headed by O'Neill, given away to Robinson. Robinson towards Ream. Ream, Richards. Richards to Tyler Adams. It's Adams to McKennie. Now back with Richards. Richards, Ream. Ream to Dest. Now back with Richards. So it's Richards for the USA. Now back towards Ream. Richards, one of the key players at Crystal Palace in recent seasons. Weston McKennie now on the ball. He does want to hold off Alessandro Ciccati. Ciccati gives the ball away to Ream. And so it's Ream. Richards crossing down towards Serginho Dest. Dest passes to Freeman. It's Freeman towards Adams. Adams to Weston McKennie. Now back with Freeman. Freeman, Richards. Freeman again. Now back towards Richards. Richards inside the centre circle. Passes up the wing to Ream. And so it's Ream to Robinson. Almost picked up by Ricardo Pepe. And sent away by Jacob Italiano. 15 minutes until half-time. It's still the United States 1, Australia 0. And it is another corner to the USA as they look to make it 2 before half-time. Malik Tillman makes his way over to the corner. And everybody waits expectantly, most notably McKennie and Pepe. And so McKennie almost gets to the ball from the corner, but Australia did well to defend, and Freeman went after the ball, but he was cut away by Ocon Aintzler. And so a bit of a hold-up to proceedings as the USA get ready to take the throw, which they do, and that was through Freeman. Richards to Adams. Now back with Tim Ream, and so it's Ream to Robinson. Robinson still back towards Ream, and so Ream still holds on to the ball. Now quickly passing back down to Chris Richards. So it's Ream to Malik Tillman, and Tillman is down on the ground, and we have another yellow card for Australia, and it's Alessandro Ciccati. Second yellow, so second yellow for Australia, and I beg your pardon. Yes, it was on Malik Tillman. For a moment I thought it was following Balogun, although Balogun did give a quick tug of Ciccati's shirt, but it is what it is, and so Australia now have 2 on a yellow. Free kick given to the USA, and to take the free kick for the US will be Anthony Robinson. It's Robinson in towards Australia's attack. It's in towards their attacking third. Now on the ball. Although Aidan O'Neill went down inside. The penalty area. He might have been pulled. Was he pulled? Was he pushed? Was he pulled? Was he pushed? I couldn't quite see. And the players and the dignitaries in the VIP area looking on with interest, and one of them giving a bit of a wave. One of them giving a bit of a wave towards to the cameras. And back on the ball is Robinson. Robinson to Adams, but the ball is over the line, and it's a throw, and it'll be a throw to Australia. So to take the throw to Australia, and we take the throw for Australia, will be Ciccati, who, remember, is on a yellow. So Ciccati throws to Suter, and the ball now being passed down the wing to Jordan Bowes. So it's Bowes to O'Neill, but tackled by the US. Australia managed to keep hold, but down on the ground went Serginho Dest, and whilst we have this quick lull in play, some breaking news: Ipswich Town are set to appoint Gary O'Neill as their new manager, and we understand that the announcements will come early next week. So that was sent by my presenter and our presenter and producer Russ, who is a stalwart of the TCHub and helped set up the channel for those who don't know. So Tyler Adams towards Freeman, although now on the ball is Serginho Dest. It's Dest passing to Weston McKennie. Now on the ball is Freeman, back towards Richards, up the wing to the captain Ream. It's Ream to Balogun. Balogun having to hold off Jacob Italiano. He doesn't give up, but he has to pass to Robinson. Malik Tillman towards Ream. Richards. So it's Richards towards Freeman. A lot of the American players ply their trade in the MLS. One or two Australian players that we are seeing do play in the MLS as well, and also quite a lot of the American players also ply their trade in Europe. So it's Robinson to Weston McKennie, cut away though by Alessandro Ciccati. Ciccati to Robinson, and he gives it away to Robinson, I should say. So Ream, Richards. It's Chris Richards up the wing to Robinson. Now on the ball is Balogun, and in fact it's Tillman. Tillman goes down on the edge of the box. The referee says no, play on, and it's all getting tense. And it's all getting tense at the Lumen Field. Australia, it seems, haven't been able to take advantage of the hydration break. They just can't seem to get round the USA. And so now on the ball. So now on the ball is Jordan Bowes. It's Bowes to O'Neill. O'Neill given away to Richards. Now back with Freeman. So it's Freeman up the wing to Tim Ream. Ream, Robinson. And so it's Robinson to Balogun. It's Balogun towards Dest. Dest on the edge of the box, trying to cross in towards Pappy, but kept away by Australia. And now on the ball, defending for Australia was, I believe, Nishan Velupe, and in fact it wasn't. It was Okon Engsler, and the USA supporters liking what they see. Freeman with the throw towards McKennie. Now back with Freeman, and the assistant referee has raised the flag. The ball did go over the line, and so it's an Australian throw. Bowes throws for Australia. Now sent up into the air. Given away, though, to Richards. Although a nasty clash of heads between Alex Freeman and one of the Australia defenders. Can't see quite clearly who it is at the moment. It might be Jacob Italiano. Both sets of physios are on the pitch, and that is not what you want to see. Thankfully, it's not as serious as what happened to the Canadian player Kone, I should say, in last night's match against Qatar, where he broke his leg. So everything in the stadium goes quiet, and there is concern all round. We'll have a look. We'll try and piece together to see what happened, and this was the giveaway by Burgess. Looking at this from another angle, he was just completely wrong-footed. I'm not blaming him. No way. I'm not blaming him. No way. He just got caught out. But it's enough for the USA to celebrate. So Freeman's being put up into a sitting position, and as I understand it, it was Paul Okon Engsler that he collided with. People are bringing up a stretcher onto the pitch, but a stretcher is needless in this case because Paul Okon Engsler was able to stand up. Just got a bit of cream to apply to the back of his head. That he might there might have been a bit of blood coming out the back of his head, which thankfully we did not see. So because of this, we are likely to go well over the designated 3 minutes for stoppage time, to account with the hydration break. So it looks as though we could well see 5, 6. So it looks as though we could well see 7, possibly 8 minutes. We will let you know in about 4.5 minutes' time. And the next decision is what is going to happen next. So the game restarts. A quick pick by Serginho Dest for the US, who passes to Richards and subsequently Ream. Ream back towards Richards. Richards to Freeman. Now it's back with Richards, although he did well to dodge Velupillay. The ball now being crossed down towards Freeman, but cut out well by Paul Okon Engsler. Throw into the US, quickly taken by Freeman, and so it's Freeman to Richards. Richards towards Ream. Robinson. Robinson passing to Malik Tillman. And so it's Tillman to Dest. Dest now passing to McKennie on the near side. McKennie looking to try and get round Burgess. McKennie tries to pass to Balogun. Yeah, now he's looking to try again. McKennie inside the 18-yard box. Has to pass back to Tyler Adams. To Freeman. And now down towards Serginho Dest on the near side. Dest inside the penalty area. Pushed from behind by Burgess. Play still goes on. And struggling to keep hold of the ball, though he's doing pretty well, is Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman is pulled onto the ground. This can't be allowed. So it was Dest with the initial setup. He collided with Nishan Velupillai. And Cameron Burgess might have gotten into a bit of a tangle with somebody, but what on earth I don't understand is why and just as I say that, it's poo and sent in by Alex Freeman, although it's been ruled out offside. The goal is disallowed. It won't count. He might have been too far ahead. But the USA denied a goal-scoring opportunity from a free kick. The setup was good, but it went wrong towards the end. It might have been the defensive work by Australia that cost the USA the second goal. And so Felix Fire is waiting for what could well be. I think it could well be another free kick. Although we're going to VAR to check to see whether it was a goal. And so now's the chance to take a look at this more closely. I for one can't seem to decide whether it was a goal or not. Was Freeman just ahead of that last defender? He might well have been, but this is tight. This is very tight, and the referee the referee has made the decision, and he is is he going to have a look at the monitor? He is still announced the decision. Everyone waits with bated breath, and the check is seemingly over as Weston McKennie and everyone looks on, and the goal has been given. The USA now 2-0 up. No offside is the decision, and it's Freeman who will claim it. So any listeners that are listening in the US and Australia, or indeed across the world, if you still haven't, then like this video and subscribe to our channel. And as we continue to grow. So it was Dest with the delivery, and Freeman was and it was just a well-timed header by Freeman, although Beach I should say must have gotten a touch to it, and I'm taking a look at the clock. We're now 7 minutes into stoppage time, so I was right in saying that the stoppage time period could well be extended. And now we resume. It's Richards towards Freeman, and Freeman passing to Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams trying to cross to Ricardo Pepe, but defended really well by Paul Okonexler, and Pepe has brought down Okonexler. No, in fact, it's Chakati. Chakati was the man who got the yellow card earlier. Play still goes on. Tim Ream up the wing to Robinson. Robinson to Malik Tillman, who sends the ball over the line. And the USA fans, they're really enjoying it. Every supporter of the Stars and Stripes bedecked in blue, red and white. And red and white is what is displayed for the most part across the stadium, although there is a fair amount of yellow and green. So another corner for the USA. Malik Tillman to take the corner. The ball being crossed in towards Richards, but Richards misses the goal, and it's a giveaway to Australia. So this is another take on the free kick, and the goal line technology confirms that Freeman was most definitely onside. Freeman with some 5 minutes to go until half time, it's still the USA 2, Australia 0, as a free kick taken by Australia and Chakati. Chakati gives the ball away to Ream, now picked up by Velupillai, as down on the ground has gone as Jordan Bowes was fouled. I should mention that might have been from Tyler Adams. I'm just going to take another look. In fact, it was a knee into the back by Tim Ream. Now that was painful, although he may have just picked up a knot. Goodness knows what Tony Popovich is going to say to the Socceroos during the half-time break. And in terms of the match momentum so far has swung in favour of the United States. It's Ream with the ball. He passes to Richards. So it's Richards to Freeman again. Back to Richards, I should say. Richards, McKennie. McKennie has to pass back to Richards just so the USA can defend their defensive third. Robinson to Adams. Adams doing well to keep hold of the ball, and so now it's back with Chris Richards. Richards to Freeman, or was it Malik Tillman? No, yes, in fact it was Malik Tillman, and Tillman brings down Jordan Bowes. 6 minutes now. We're now some 5 minutes into stoppage time, and it's still the United States 2, Australia 0. As we get ready to, as we tick down towards the break. Headed up into the air by Alessandro Chakati. And the man who caught the ball and the man who sent the ball over the line might well have been Weston McKennie. Australia throw. So the man to take the throw is Chakati. Chakati tries to throw to Toure, but is headed by Ream. So it's Ream towards Balogun, although Balogun has gone down onto the ground. Too many players are being fouled, in my opinion. And yes, indeed it is Folarin Balogun, and he might have, I think somebody hit the back of his head. It may well have been Paul Okonexler, who, don't forget, is on a yellow card. So he has to watch himself, otherwise he's off. So throw-in taken in by Australia. It's Adams for the US. Now caught by Freeman. It's now with Balogun. Balogun concedes to Australia, but the ball is caught in the end by Alex Freeman. It's Freeman inside the 18-yard box. Now it's the pass towards Dest, who almost makes it 3. Easy save, though, by Patrick Beach. He sensed that the ball was very close to the ground and was able to pounce without too much difficulty. And so we're now into the 7th minute overtime. It looks as though we are going to go slightly over because Bose is about to set up an attack by Australia, but punched to the side or sent over is Freeman, and Adams trying to keep Bose away from him. But that is it. Half time at Lumen Field, and even though it was a close match early on the start, it's been the USA for much of the second half, ever since Cameron Burgess sent the ball into his own net after he was caught unawares. Half time at Lumen Field. The United States 2, Australia 0. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you, Nicholas. Brilliant first half coverage there from our man bringing us this game today, Nicholas Jones, on the midfield for this, our first of 2 live matches today. We've got you another game coming up a little bit later on this evening. It's 11 o'clock UK time from the Gillette Stadium in Boston. The Tartan Army and Steve Clark's Tartan Army Scotland look to get another World Cup victory against a brilliant Morocco side in Group C of the World Cup. That is coming up later on this evening for us here in the UK, where we are based and doing our commentary from. We will be heading back to Nick very, very shortly for the game. Just a bit more news coming in for us with regards to Gary O'Neill, as Nick brought you. We understand he's set to be appointed the Ipswich Town head coach, replacing Kieran McKenna, who stood down a couple of weeks or so ago. Personal terms have been finalised, which are not expected to be a problem with the former Wolves boss and the Tractor Boys, the newly promoted Premier League side, Ipswich Town, after Ipswich and Strasbourg, where O'Neill's been managing at the moment, has come to conclusion there. So just the personal terms to be finalised, and we expect his appointment as head coach to be confirmed early next week. Big thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight so far. Mike Orman who's tuned in, and Nicholas's auntie, just asked Nana, who's tuned in as well. Hopefully you're both doing okay. Thank you for listening to us wherever you're from. And Mike is the man who will be with us later for Scotland against Morocco at 11 p.m. this evening. Right then, we're going to take a quick break right now. We're back in plenty of time for the second half. Will the Socceroos bounce back and turn this game on its head, or will USA get another victory in this tournament? So far, after the games we've played, there's only been one game and there's been no goals between Spain and Cape Verde. But so far in this match tonight, USA 2, Australia 0. Join us shortly. Second half action. Welcome back to the CommentATOR's coverage of the game between the USA and Australia, where it is 2-0 to the hosts, one of the co-hosts of the World Cup in the Lumen Field or Seattle Stadium, it is known here for this World Cup. I am joined by Matchday commentator Nicholas Jones. And Nick, just want to quickly ask you a question on Australia, if I may. What do you think they'll be like, and what do you think they'll be doing to try and get back into this game? Or what do you think the manager will be saying to his players? And do you feel, from what you've seen in that first half, they can get back into this game?
Well, the first half performance, apart from Mohamed Toure almost scoring within 40 seconds. Apart from that, the performance on the pitch has generally been very poor. Once Cameron Burgess conceded, they kind of fell away a bit. And even if you concede no goal or lose early on, your team does lose confidence. Your team does lose a bit of confidence and momentum. Tony Popovic will need to look over and discuss what went wrong and see how they can and see what changes they can make. Although I think in terms of who they may have to bring on a substitute, they may have to bring on Nestori Irankunda and also Jackson Irvine. I've heard he's very good.
Yeah, Jackson Irvine is a really good player. Nick, I've seen him played over here before in the Championship and maybe in the lower leagues. And he's been a really good player wherever he's been. Jackson Irvine, I've been impressed when I've seen him play. Just another quick one then on this game. On the USA front, obviously the 2-0 up, Burgess own goal and Freeman. What do you think they need to do more of to get more goals in the second half? Because more goals could have come for the USA in the first, but they've just not been able to get it over the line. What do you think they need to do better of to get more goals in this game, Nick?
I feel they need to strengthen their midfield a bit more and also give more boost to Weston McKennie and Ricardo Pepe. Tyler Adams and Malik Tillman appear to be lacking a bit at the back, although they are consistent players. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Weir and Wright Ria and Wright come on as substitutes, and also Rayner as well.
Yes, Nick, and also Nick, I understand you've got some permutations for both of these sides if they are to get through to the round of 32. So would you like to give us those, Nick?
That is correct. The United States, they are looking at qualifying for the round of 32 as group winners if they win against Australia, and if Turkey don't beat Paraguay, which is the later game coming up at 4 a.m. our time. And should they win Group D, their next round opponents will be a third place team from either groups B, I, E, F, I or J. As for Australia, should they win against the US, they're virtually guaranteed a place in the next round. They will claim top spots if they win and Turkey beat Paraguay. But with the USA being in the hot seat at the moment, I'd have to say that they are the most likely to qualify for the next round.
Yes, thank you very much. Then Nicholas, the second half will be getting underway very, very shortly. Rebecca Laura's been on, and she says, "I'm an American rooting for Australia." Oops. She says, "Hopefully enjoying our coverage, so Rebecca. Thank you for tuning in once again. I know this is your second time you've tuned in into some games, but hopefully you're enjoying that one."
Can I just interrupt you there? I think she is actually familiar to me because I remember her. teammates in the Qatar World Cup quarter-finals 4 years ago.
Yeah, so good to have you back on, Rebecca. Just a quick one before as the team is just coming back out. Do you think Scotland can get a win tonight against Morocco, or do you think it could be difficult for them, Nick?
It could go either way. I mean, Morocco, they're a fairly strong side. I mean, given that they drew 1-1 against Brazil, but Scotland, I have to say, their win over Haiti was expected, but I think they'll have a harder time of it against Morocco, and I can just see the players coming out and getting ready to start the second half.
Yes, thank you. We'll be with you in 1 second. Rebecca says she's so grateful for us. So thank you, Rebecca. Really glad you choose us to be your commentary partner here for the commentary for the matches. And she says go Scotland as well. Before Scotland play, Rebecca, so we've got the second half of this game between USA and Australia. It looks like a couple of Australia changes are about to be made. So we have news of those and coverage of the second half. It's time for me to hand over to Nicholas Jones.
Thanks, Russ. It's just gone 1:10 in Seattle in the afternoon, and a couple of Australia players are being readied to come on. Connor Metcalf and Jason Gurria are looking likely to come on. As Gurria will come on in place of as Gurria makes his way onto the pitch, and so too does Metcalf, and in fact we've also got a third being ready, as Nestory Irakunda comes on. Couldn't really see who they were substituted off for. I will let you know as and when I can. It'll be the USA to kick us off, and they will be they'll be going from right to left, Australia left to right, and we're underway for the second half between the USA and Australia, but the ball's already been sent away. In fact, the kickoff needs to be retaken, but we're underway nonetheless. And the ball goes over the line for an earlier throw. That just gives me enough time to say the changes. But Gurria comes off. Gurria comes on in place of Burgess. Metcalf takes the place of Velipalai, and Irankunda is on for Mohamed Toure. So we'll just wait for my producer Russ to make those corrections, as it's Anthony Robinson passing to Freeze in goal. One being passed back out towards Chris Richards. Richards to Freeman, back towards Richards, and now the ball is back with Robinson. So it's Robinson trying to cross forward to Weston McKennie. McKennie's down on the ground, and now back on the ball for Australia is Aidan O'Neill. It's O'Neill, but he's fouled Robinson. Robinson down. O'Neill clearly the culprit in this one. Just a quick reminder. So it's Irankunda on in place of Toure, Metcalf in place of Villepalai, and Jason Gurria takes the place of Cameron Burgess. So Australia retake possession. It's Gurria to Jacob Italiano, but the ball went over the line. It will be a US throw. The throw will be taken by Anthony Robinson, who plays for Fulham in the Premier League. That was a foul on the back. That was a foul on following Balogun, but nothing given. Another ball being part, and it's going to be a free, and it looks like it's going to be a free kick to US, quickly taken by Malik Tillman. So it's Tillman to Ream. Richards up the wing to Dest. It's back with Ream. Dest. Richards now passing to Matt Freeze in the goal. So Matt Freeze to Malik Tillman. Tillman, Richards to Freeman. Freeman back towards Richards. Tillman. It's Malik Tillman. Tillman passing to Richards. Richards to Freeman. Now back with Freeman. Now back with Ream. Hovering over the ball was Metcalf. McKennie trying to cross forwards to Balogun, and the ball was almost taken. By Serginho Dest, but his left foot was caught by Alessandro Ciccati. USA back in possession. The ball being passed down the wing to Robinson. Robinson towards Ream, just over the halfway line. So it's Ream to Dest and Richards. Back with Freeman. And in fact, it's now back with Tyler Adams on the far side, I should say. He's over the halfway line. And he passes back over the line to Chris Richards. And so it's Richards down the wing to Tim Ream. Ream to Freeman. And now after the ball is Serginho Dest. Given away though to Australia. Given away to Australia and Italiano. Cleared away from the goal by Beach. Back with Adams. And a quick cross down the wing to Richards, and now it's with Robinson. Robinson to McKennie, now back with Richards. Richards passing to Serginho Dest, and it's Dest. And about to catch the ball is Malik Tillman. Tillman quickly passing it to McKennie. McKennie to Ream. Ream. Richards, who's on the edge of the centre circle. He passes to Adams, who passes back to Richards. Richards towards Ream. Robinson on the near side, though he has to be careful. And the ball is conceded to Australia. And on the ball now is Irankunda. Nestor Irankunda crossing to Italiano. Italiano towards Irankunda, but halted by the USA, not for long. Aidan O'Neill given away though to Tyler Adams, and now after the ball is following Balogun, but stopped just in the nick of time by Jason Guerrier. That was a good setup by Adams. He was being pursued by Ciccati. In fact, it was Ciccati who closed him down, and the deflection of the ball by his foot paid off. So Australia. So this is definitely a wake-up call for Australia, as the USA have a corner to be taken by Malik Tillman. Tillman waits his chance for the corner. The ball goes into the 18-yard box, but defended by Australia. It's currently with Irankunda. The USA take it back with Malik Tillman. The referee says play on. As one of the Australian defenders went down, it's Freeman to Ream. Ream to Adams. And so it's Adams at the wing to Weston McKennie, and it's McKennie towards Balogun. Balogun inside the penalty area. Australia learnt from their mistakes, and that was a good deflection away by Chakati. It's the case of, and just so far in the second half, it's start as you need to continue as the USA try to pressurise Australia into conceding a third goal. If you want to keep, and yes, again, it's another corner to the USA. I can see that the US have had 6 so far. Australia only 2. And to take that corner once again will be Malik Tillman. And it's Tillman in towards the penalty area, headed by Balogun, but given away to Australia. And down on the ground is Alessandro Chakati, but it's just a blow to the head. He is able to sit. He is able to get into a sitting position, so he looks okay. And everyone in the VIP room enjoying the match so far. So lots of people watching and enjoying the performance. Ream to Chris Richards, now back towards Ream. It's Ream currently with the ball, passing back up the wing to Richards. It's Richards to Freeman, and now Freeman crossing forward to Weston McKennie. Although he was barged over the side by Alessandro Chakati, nearly barged out, I should say. Although he did stay on the pitch, but it cost him the ball, and Australia take the throw. USA almost take it, but it's with the Socceroos. Now it's back with the US with Tillman crossing towards Ream. Now it's with Robinson up the wing to Richards, and now Richards trying to cross forward to Dest, but it's saved by Patrick Beach. He was ready and waiting. And now the ball's been given back to the USA. Although Australia threw, and O'Neill almost tried to retake it. Now it's with McKennie and Dest. Too many players are being fouled, says the referee. And one of the players down is Jacob Italiano. So we could have our first USA booking. And we'll let you know who it is. It's Anthony Robinson, and Robinson another incident that was Matthew Leckie that went down, and that was what we saw just now between Robinson and Italiano. So the first booking of the USA, and it goes to Anthony Robinson. Now on the ball for Australia is that might have been O'Neill, but the ball goes over the line, and it will be a throw. And so to take the throw will be Ocon Anxler towards Metcalf, and Metcalf crossing down the wing to Italiano, Pepe passing it to Ream slowing proceedings down a bit so as he can try and outfox Australia. Freeman, Richards passes back to Tim Ream. Now it's with Robinson, and now Robinson trying to cross forwards, and after the ball now is Pepe. The ball just stays on the pitch, so we are able to carry on playing. It's Robinson about 10-15 metres from the 18-yard box. Back with Adams to Richards, Freeman, And he's now passing up the wing to Dest. Dest trying to get round Bowes. Passes back to Malik Tillman. But the ball has been given up. But the ball has been given away to the US, and Weston McKennie has pushed Alessandro Ciccati over the goal line. But nothing given. So the game is straight back on. It's Jason Guria for Australia, and Malik Tillman is brought down on the ground. The referee again is not interested. So now the ball is Suter to Metcalf, or that was Ciccati. Ciccati passing to Metcalf, and now after the ball for Australia is Bowes. Although that was good chase by Alex Freeman. So Tim Ream, he's been doing well defensively. It was actually Leckie who had the ball momentarily, and Bowes tried to cross, and fouled inside the box was Tim Ream, and that was by Nestoroi Irankunda. We wait to see what happened next, as Matthew Leckie is down on the ground once again. And so Matthew Leckie is down on the ground again, having a little chat with the referee, it seems. He might have pulled something on his leg. He's trying to get up but can't, and so the Australian physios are now on the ground to tend to him, and the various dignitaries inside the box looking on as the Australia physios trying to stretch the right leg of Leckie. Looks like someone could be ready to come on. That is Australia's number 20, Christian Volpato. No substitutes as of yet from the USA, as Leckie is being led around. He's walking very gingerly. He may well have to be substituted. Just another reminder that for any listeners that are new, please like and subscribe. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any further matches. And Volpato is being Volpato will be coming on as a substitute for Matthew Leckie. Volpato wastes no time coming onto the pitch. And Australia have used all four. And so Australia have used four out of their 5 substitutes. And Volpato has just made his way on. That was Gary almost with the ball as Australia take a throw. Irankunda gives the ball away though to Pepe. Another boy being played up forward to Balogun. Balogun misses his chance. And now another ball's being played forward to Irankunda. Can Irankunda bring one back? Reduce the gap for Australia. A player goes down inside the 18-yard box. The referee will have to call a halt to proceedings. What will come of this, we wonder. And down on the ground is Connor Metcalf. Obviously it was not. Obviously they were nowhere near the ball. I have to say that Irankunda was onside, and it was Richards on Metcalf. No, it was Tyler Adams. But But whether that will warrant a penalty or not, I just don't know. And Tony Popovic, understandably upset, possibly frustrated, but play still goes on as it's Ricardo Pepi for the US. Now the ball being given away to Guria of Australia. It'll be a throw in to the Socceroos. And as Popovic looks on anxiously, another ball being given away to Richards. It's Pepi, but it goes over the line. The ball goes over the line thanks to Ocon Ainsler. So it'll be a USA throw. It'll be a USA throw this time. 63 minutes gone. Still the USA 2, Australia 0. It's Richards to Ream, Robinson on the near side, but the ball goes over the line, and yet it actually still stays in play. Australia defend their penalty area really well. Now on the ball still is Ocon Ainsler passing to Italiano, and now on the ball is Jordan Bowes. Bowes to that might have been Guerrier. Bowes passing to Suter. Suter picks up the ball for the Socceroos. He passes to Guerrier. Guerrier down the wing to Italiano, although after the ball was Robinson. And now, all the way on his own is Nestoroi Irankunda, but halted by the USA goalkeeper Matt Freeze. Very in. Australia appear to slowly be catching up towards the USA. So this game is still far from over for them by any means. And now it's Irankunda inside the 18-yard box. He passes to Metcalf. A low shot at goal, but saved by Freeze. That's the closest Australia have come to scoring in this half. Metcalf, good effort, but it was all in vain. And now on the ball this time. And now on the ball is couldn't see who it was, but ball's been given back to the USA and Ream. Down on the ground is Irankunda, momentarily stunned by the looks of it, but he should be back up on his feet any time now. The ball now being crossed down towards Follerin Balogun. Balogun tries to keep the ball inside, but he is cut away by Australia, and that was the incident between Richards and Irankunda, which we didn't see a moment ago. Shoulder to shoulder, or possibly a shoulder into the chest. I can't tell for certain. Now on the ball for Australia is Nishan Velupalai. No, in fact it wasn't. It was Ocon Ainsler. Ball not being passed back to Richards. I'm still surprised that the USA that Pochettino hasn't made any substitutes for his side. Richards passing down the wing to Tim Ream. Back towards Richards. Richards now towards Malik Tillman. Again passing back to Richards. Ream again towards Richards. Passing to Freeman, who in turn passes to Freeze. And Freeze, that's a long ball out of the goal, but it comes off the head of Guerrier. And now it's back with Robinson. Robinson towards Malik Tillman. And Adams got into a bit of a clash with Voltarpo. but play still goes on. It's Adams. Adams passing to Freeman. Now back with Richards. Richards to Ream. Bit of a stumble by Freeman. Now it's back with the captain Ream, and Ream senses that Robinson is closing in on the goal, but he misses the ball, and it will be over the line for an Australia throw. A couple of US substitutes being readied, and we're now into a hydration break. So could this be the could the hydration break in this half be what Australia needs? Remember the hydration break did them no favours whatsoever, and everyone has a chance to once again to take a drink of water and some sports energy drinks, and also be applied with a wet towel. And the hydration breaks also give the managers, the management and the team to discuss the tactics that they're going to use throughout the next 30 to 31 and a half minutes, as Tony Popovic looks on. And don't forget coming up later on tonight, it is Scotland against Morocco with Mike Harneman. And I'm now taking the time to just got a couple of comments coming in. One of which was I think to do with like, you know, sort of some kind of promotion that we didn't need. But that's not taken care of. And the USA fans in the fan zones, and indeed in the grounds, they are really enjoying this. And the hydration break still going on. Pochettino using his hands, using a bit more body language than he did in the first half. Whereas back then he was just consulting his papers. But he knows that there could be. He knows that some more attacking players need to be introduced. So we could have the likes of Haji Wright and also Austin Trusty, in defence. Giovanni Reyna could be coming on as well. As the hydration break slowly winds down, and I just saw a banner saying, "Why not us? Why not US?" They could go far in this tournament. And some of the one or two of the fans displaying one of their chants saying which is I believe. That's we will win. It goes, I believe we will win. And now that the hydration break is over, we can restart. So it's a throw into Australia with Guerrier headed by Robinson, and Robinson headed towards Freeman. Given to Malik Tillman. On the ground was Christian Volpato, the young man. The young man who plays for Sassuolo in Serie A. So cross by Metz. So a long cross by Metcalf. Now it goes back to Volpato. Almost taken by Dest. But still back with Australia. And on the ball is Ocon Ainsler. Given back to the USA, and McKennie to Tillman, but Australia get the last touch, and it's over the line for a USA throw, and indeed the first USA substitute could be getting ready to come on. I couldn't see who it was at the minute, but we'll let you know soon. Malik Tillman, and Russ is letting me know that I should soon deliver my player of the match very soon. Difficult difficult for me to see at the moment who is worthy. It's difficult for me to see difficult for me to say who is worthy of player of the match at the moment, because both sets of teams have been very good in their own rights. As down on the ground goes Jacob Italiano, and on the ball for USA at the moment is Tyler Adams. Now the ball's been given away back to Australia. It's with Metcalf, but Robinson swiftly takes it for the US. It's with Tillman to Ream, Robinson, but player's been stopped for a free kick, and it looks as though we could have our first US substitution on very soon, and that was a shoulder into the back of Tim Ream, and that was committed by Iran Kunda. He should get a yellow card for this. He might complain all he likes, but it was his responsibility. No card, according to the referee, which I am very surprised at, as the first substitution for the USA is being made. And off the pitch comes Pepe, and in his place we will let you know very soon. And that is number 14 Berhalter, or to give him his actual name, Sebastian Berhalter of the Vancouver Whitecaps. Robinson to Balogun, although Balogun got into a bit of a tangle with Balogun got into a bit of a tangle with Guerrier, and so it will be a free kick, and so it's a free kick to the USA, as Ocon Engstler being spoken to by Felix Fire. He is already on a yellow card. He's just being told to calm down, otherwise he will face the consequences and get sent off. So now on the ball is Malik Tillman. It's Tillman for the US. He passes to Tyler Adams. Adams to Berhalter. Berhalter gives the ball away though to Jordan Bose to Chakati. Now back with Bose. Now on the ball this time is Aidan O'Neill. O'Neill down the wing to Jacob Italiano. Italiano passing to Metcalf. Metcalf passing the ball around. It ends up back with Italiano. Italiano to Christian Volpato. Volpato trying to get round Robinson. Headed clear though by the USA. Now on the ball was Balogun. Now Australia looked like that was a good setup for Australia by Jason Guerrier, but well held by the US. And now on the ball this time is Ocon Engstler to Chakati. Now the ball being passed back down towards Volpato via Guerrier. Christian Volpato now closing in on the 18-yard box. Australia have to score fast, otherwise they'll be looking at mainly a consolation goal, headed up into the air by Chris Richards. Now back on the ball is Irakunda, but the ball has to go. But it has been dealt with. The ball goes over the line for an Australia throw. Chris Richards. He has been a key player in defence. But Berhalter did well. But Berhalter defended the ball really well. And I'm just letting Russ know my player of the match right now. We are hoping to have it read. I'm hoping to read it out in about 12 minutes time. And the last substitution for Australia is being made as onto the pitch in place of Paul Ocon-Exler is Jackson Irvine. Jackson Irvine, as Ross mentioned, has played for many clubs in the UK, possibly mainly England, including Burton Albion and Hull City. He's also played for the likes of Ross County and Hibernian. As a player has gone down, it's Volpato. Christian Volpato is down, and he's holding his head. We'll just have to wait. We'll just have to try and ascertain what happened, and it was an arm into the face by Anthony Robinson, and that was pretty reckless in my view. So back on the ball for Australia is Volpato, given away though to Robinson, but the ball has gone over the line, and once again it'll be another Australia throw. The throw-in will be taken by Australia's number 3, Alessandro Ciccati. So Ciccati throws to Ciccati throws to O'Neill. Now back with Ciccati. The ball has gone over the line, and as we approach, and we're now getting ready for an Australia corner. So before we go into the corner, again, if you are new, please remember to like and subscribe, and share with your friends and your family. Australia corner in towards the 18-yard box, almost headed by Suter, and blazed over the bar by Jordan Bowes. And down on the ground is Alex Freeman. That looked painful. We'll just try and piece together what happened. And he was just bundled down onto the ground by Harry Suter. 2 substitutes for the USA likely to be readied as Serginho Dest comes off and onto the pitch will come, as also Anthony Robinson looks like he's going to be substituted as well, and a bit of confusion going on. Robinson confused whether he is actually off or if he's staying on, but he makes his way onto the bench. We'll let you know who the player is on for. So Robinson and Dess are off, and onto the pitch come Austin Trusty and Scally. Joe Scally, yes. Another ball being played to Joe Scally. Scally to Tim Ream. So we now have less than 10 minutes to go until 90 minutes. It's still the USA 2, Australia 0. Irvine with his first touch. Down the wing it goes to Jacob Italiano. Italiano to Aidan O'Neill. O'Neill up the wing to Alessandro Ciccati. Ciccati towards Bowes. Now given back to the USA. Australia managed to retake through Bowes. He passes to Volpato. Volpato down the wing to Suter, who in turn passes to Guerrier. Guerrier back to Suter. Suter down the wing to Italiano on the near side. Did well to hold off the advances of a couple of USA midfielders. Irvine to Italiano. Now back with Irvine. Irvine inside the 18-yard box. Australia looking to set up an attack through Metcalf, but everyone misses the ball. And that was good defensive work by the USA. In fact, I have to correct myself. It wasn't. Everyone just missed the ball, so it was just bad luck on Australia's part. The Socceroos know that time is starting. That time is starting to turn against them. They need other results to go their way if they are to qualify for the round of 32. They could well be either that or they could well be looking at one of the one of the best third place teams, which we'll let you know the permutations of next week. And so to take the throw is Guerrier. Guerrier throws to Metcalf. Metcalf towards Christian Volpato. Now back to Metcalf. Metcalf, and the ball just about into the 18-yard box. Almost picked up there by Metcalf again. Metcalf gives the ball back to Volpato. Volpato to Jacob Italiano. Now given back to the USA and Folarin Balogun. Balogun gives it back to Irvine. So it's Irvine after the ball, but defended by Chris Richards and sent over the line. Good defending from the Crystal Palace man. And he did well to cut out Nestori Irankunda. I'm having to catch my breath here, and Tony Popovic, he can't believe what's happened. After the ball is Jacob Italiano in towards the penalty area. Could Australia get a consolation? Gary almost tries it, but nothing doing. And Tyler Adams has noticed that Chris Richards is down on the ground. He's signalling to the referee, and the referee appears to have heard him. And poor old Chris Richards down on the ground. We'll just have a look at what happened with this corner. Whack. And that was just a collision with Christian Volpato by the looks of it. Pretty unnecessary challenge, but nothing worthy of a card. We now have some 5 minutes to go until 90 minutes. Well, almost 90 minutes, and it's still the USA 2, Australia 0. On the ball now is Tillman, who passes to Scally, and it's Scally to Austin Trusty. Trusty passing back to passes to Freeze in the goal, and now the ball being sent forwards towards Weston McKennie, Berhalter, Ream, and now back with Australia and Suter. After the ball for Australia was O'Neill briefly. Very soon in a couple of minutes I'll be ready to announce my player of the match when there is a next lull in play. So to take the free kick will be Volpato. Crossing in towards Connor Metcalf. Now back towards Guerrier off Volpato. Guerrier passes back to Volpato. Volpato now trying to close in on the 18-yard box. It's back with Irvine. Given away though to the US, and almost headed in. Now on the ball is Chakati, but it's blazed over the crossbar, and Australia again have failed to take advantage of the hydration breaks. So it looks as though Australia will need to rely on other results to keep them in contention for a spot in the round of 32. they could well be looking at a third place position at the very least. So a play goes on. United States player is down, and a bit of arguing going on between Balogun and a couple of other people. Difficult to see who instigated the argument. The referee wants to talk to Balogun and Volpato by the looks of it. In fact, he's trying to talk to everybody all at once. Difficult. Pretty difficult to try. Pretty difficult to try and talk to that many people. It's like talking to a bunch of squabbling kids in the school playground. But the referee does have a yellow card out and ready. We'll let you know. We'll let you know who it is. We'll let you know who it is. We'll let you know who it is that will get the yellow card, and it's going to. And it looks as though it's either going to Italiano or Suter, or is it Balogun? Or is it Balogun? We'll let you know. We'll let you know very soon, as this is what happened. Balogun collided with Suter initially, grabbed him by the head, and Suter grabs him and Suter must have grabbed him in retaliation. So 50-50 between these two. If both of them got a booking, that would be fair, but it's only Harry Suter that gets the yellow card. And I'm also been told that Balogun and Italiano are also booked. So I would say that is a fair decision by the referee. As down on the ground is Joe Scally, and yet another fight is potentially breaking out. But this time things are a bit more controlled, and it was between Irankunda and Scally. No bookings this time because it's all been well controlled. Just a reminder that Balogun, Suter, and Italiano were all booked. So on the ball now is Austin Trusty, but the ball goes over the line, and 6 minutes could be, and we're hearing that 6 minutes could be added on. We'll let you know very soon, as Malik Tillman gets ready to take the corner for the corner for the USA. He's waiting to take the corner. In fact, he's not doing it. It's Berhalter. Quick pass to Tillman, but Australia aren't fooled. They're caught out, and 6 minutes are being added on for second half injury time. It's Guerrier with the throw. He throws given away though to Berhalter. Australia take it back with Volpato, but it goes over the line. So Australia retake the throw. It's Volpato for the Socceroos, and he fouls once again, and he might have fouled somebody. Couldn't see who, but quick reminder of the score: still the USA 2, Australia 0. Cameron Burgess with an own goal early on in the first half. Then Alex Freeman with his second 2 minutes before half time. So Australia really do need to get their act together. Even a draw not be enough for them to save. And Russ is already asking for my player of the match. I'll let you know in about 60 seconds. As play is being restarted, the ball now being passed towards Guerrier to Chakati. Now the ball is with Freeman momentarily. Now on the ball this time is Balogun. It's Balogun, and it was almost sent in, but it was actually Tillman towards Balogun. But this isn't over yet. Freeman to Berhalter. Now back with Freeman, but kept away though by Metcalf, and the USA paying for their momentary lapse of concentration. And yet another yellow card for a USA player. It's Chris Richards. Chris Richards with the yellow card, and it was just a knock on the face, and that is a shame. And that is a shame for Chris Richards, because I was going to give him my player of the match, so I may have to reconsider. And because he was so good in defence, and now the referee has gone down. He might pick up an injury. Russ says it's unable to change now, so I'm just going to go ahead and give Chris Richards my player of the match, as sponsored by Football Live. Regardless of that yellow card, he's been very good in defence. He's won 66.7% of the tackles, passing accuracy 95.7, and 93 total passes overall, and that can't be bad. So congratulations to Chris Richards, and it looks as though we're going to have a substitute referee, as Felix Fire is clearly hurt, as a follower in Balogun, helps him back up. It might be a leg injury or something like that. That is just terrible. We don't want to see anybody in pain, players or match officials. And Pochettino gets ready to make perhaps the last substitution for the US. Tony Popovic has played all his cards, and we currently have some around 90 seconds to go until full time. So Felix Fire will be able to, is going to carry on being the referee. We might go slightly over time because of this. We'll let you know. The ball was being played forward to Jacob Italiano, but it went over the line because of the US. Now on the ball for Australia is Volpato. Trying to press in towards Australia's attacking third, but he misses from a long way back. It seems to me, and actually, two final substitutions for the USA are being made, and we'll let you know who they are. Following Balogun makes his way off. It's a pity I didn't get to see much of it. It's a pity I didn't get to see him score, unlike what Mike did in the first match against Paraguay. But so he will be a force to be reckoned with for the USA, I am sure. And also coming off the pitch is Weston McKennie. So I'll have to let you know. So I'll let you know who they are. That's coming on. Giovanni Reyna is coming on in place of McKennie, and also coming on in place of Balogun is Haji Wright, the star player for Coventry City in the Championship last season, guided the Sky Blues to the Premier League. But we're now into the 92nd. We're now into the 96th minute. We could well have at least 2 or 3 minutes added on. So it's Wright, or is that Tillman? Tillman passing to Haji Wright. Haji Wright inside the 18-yard box. Can he find a gap? The answer is no. Defended by Guerrier. And there's the confirmation. Balogun and McKennie off. Wright and Rayner are on. So So that's that dealt with. Goal kick taken by Australia. The ball headed into the air by Bose. Australia should perhaps realise by now that it's too late to change things. And whilst the ball goes out of play, just one last reminder for anyone that is listening, and if you are new, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And you can also subscribe to us on X or Twitter at Commentary Live 1. We've also got handles on TikTok and Instagram, both with the handle commentary at CommentaryHub 92. So that's the final bits of housekeeping done, as it were. And now on the ball is Malik Tillman. Tillman in towards the 18-yard box. Hadji Wright tries to get after the ball but can't. And the Commentary Hub 92 is on TikTok and Instagram. Just one last reminder. But that is it. The USA have made it 2 in a row, and they are surely well on the way to qualifying for the round of 32. They've done it, and for Australia, they really do need other results to go their way if they are to even stand a chance of making the round of 16. Third place at the most is what they may well be looking at. Full time at the Lumen Field or Seattle Stadium. The United States 2, Australia 0.
Thank you very much there to Nicholas Jones for excellent coverage tonight here between the US of A and Australia in World Cup Group D. That's all we've got time for on this one this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening, depending where you are across the world. We will be back on air around about 10:50, so just under 45 minutes time, to bring you coverage of our next live offering from the World Cup this summer, which will see Scotland take on Morocco at 11 p.m. UK time at the Gillette Stadium in Boston, Massachusetts. So that's all we've got time for. The USA make it another victory on the board in the World Cup. For myself, Wes Millen, and Nicholas Jones, all this coverage this afternoon, this morning, or this evening, depending where you're listening from, just thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again. And I'll see you, and Mike will see you in a few moments' time for the game between the Scots and Moroccans, who will come out on top. Molo Timia. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again real soon. See you again on the game at from 11 o'clock. 10:50 will be on air. What about 10:50? 10:55 on air for Scotland against Morocco. Join us then. Molo Timia. Good night for now.